Welcome back to Blitz. I'm Brian Carter here at Lumpkin County High School, joined now by Indians football coach Tommy Jones. Coach, we had you on the show a year ago to talk about football, and I can't believe football season's already back upon us again, and we're thrilled to have you on the show with us.
I appreciate that, Brian. It really does. It comes quick every year, and it is an exciting time in the life of high schools throughout the nation, and I know that the fall brings a great sense of excitement with it.
Now, Coach, last year you were in Region 7 AAA. Obviously, they did some realignment at the end of the school year, now in 8 AAA, which some teams move out, you got some new ones moving in. Your sub-region in particular has become even more tougher. You still got North Hall, White County in the mix, and Chestatee, they're always in there somewhere. But now you're also throwing in Franklin County and Stevens County as well. How do you think that's going to impact your team this year?
Well, there's no doubt that we have an extremely tough region, and in particular sub-region. It's always hard to project the difficulty of schedule until you go through it. But looking on the front end, there's absolutely no doubt that our sub-region is extremely tough when you've got a North Hall perennial power. You've got a White County that is really, really good, really strong, could be the best team in the region. Then you throw along with that Chestatee that's very good, and two teams from the old Region 8 AAA, which is, I guess, the new 8 AAA now, in a Stevens County and a Franklin County. Stevens perennially been one of the better teams in North Georgia for a long time. Franklin really up and coming, made the playoffs last year and looking very good.
Now, to speak of up and coming, you guys have been hovering around the 500 mark for a few seasons now, so you're just one game away from being a potential state playoff team. Talk about your team this year. You got high expectations with your senior quarterback Taylor Guthrie. He's under center this year, so high expectations for the team this year. What are their expectations going into the year?
Well, sure. I mean, we do feel like that we've got a very good group of kids. They've worked extremely hard. We're fortunate that they bought in to our coaching staff and what we've tried to implement here over the last 4 to 5 years. We couldn't ask for a better group of kids, and they work extremely hard, and we're thankful for that. Obviously, our goals are to win our football games and to continue playing for as long as we can. We do believe that we've narrowed the gap between some of the elite teams and where we are. But you still have to play the games, and we know, like we said, that we don't have any kind of gimme games. Every week we've got a very tough game, and that starts from game 1 all the way through week 10. We know we're going to have to be at our very best to have success.
Now, Coach, you have an outstanding defensive player on your team, B.J. Dorsey. He's prepped to be one of the best in the nation in the class of 2012. He had 7.5 sacks last year as a sophomore, just a junior this year. How much of the team's success for this season will hinge on his success along with the other defensive mainstay players like Michael Flanagan, Lee Cagle, and Jonathan Whitehead?
B.J. Dorsey is an excellent football player. He's got a very high motor. He's got a great tempo. He's relentless in the way that he plays, the way he approaches football. He works extremely hard, and we're fortunate that he's on our football team, and we're glad that he is. At the same time, I think that our entire defense has lots of good football players. Like you said, we've got 3 defensive linemen that return, and Michael Flanagan and Jonathan Whitehead along with BJ, and our leading tackler, outside linebacker Lee Cagle returns. We've got a free safety in Kalen Temples and a Mike linebacker, John Harris, and Skylar Donovan plays linebacker. We've got a good group of defensive players, and I could talk about a lot of those guys as being very key players. And we know that in high school football, particularly in the state of Georgia, you're only as good as your defense is. And we certainly hope that those guys will continue to play like they're capable of playing.
Now, it'll take you a couple games to get up to speed to that level. You start out with Riverside Military, a 1A school, and then you play Union County, a 2A program, before you play Monroe area September 17th to start region play. What do you hope to accomplish in the first 2 games to get ready for region play?
Well, I mean, we feel like we're playing 2 very capable opponents, very good opponents. I mean, Riverside, yes, they did drop down to single A, but they were in the playoffs the past 2 years, their first 2 years in the Georgia High School Association. They've got tremendous athletes. We know we've got our work cut out for us, so very well coached. Union County has been up and coming, improving very much. I actually had the chance to play for Coach Brian Allison when I was at Furman University, and so I have the utmost respect for what he does and what he's done with the program. And so, we're looking at these first 2 games as being full-fledged tests, and we know we're going to have to play at our greatest level to have success in those 2 games, and we're excited about those opportunities.
Now, Coach, you have about 17 seniors on the team, so pretty much close to 20 in that range. That's a solid group of guys you got there, and I know the community and the players alike have pretty high hopes this year. Is there any sense of urgency you see that the team has to want to win now for those guys who are going to play their last year at Lumpkin County?
Sure. I mean, you always have tremendous appreciation and fondness for your seniors. I don't know if this year is any different than the others. I mean, obviously expectations are high. I don't think a community or a group of kids or parents or anybody else can put higher expectations on a coaching staff than we put on ourselves. We expect to be successful and be the very best that we can be, but we do want to win, and we want to be successful and want to do the very best that we can, and we want to be able to reach our goals. We want to be able to continue playing after Week 10. We want to have one of the better teams that Lumpkin County has ever had. I mean, those are the things that we talk about inside our group, and we certainly hope that comes to fruition, and I know our kids are going to work to make sure it does.
Now, Coach, I have no question that you guys are going to have a competitive team on the field this year, and I look forward to watching you. And thank you again for taking the time out to be with us on the show today.
Thank you very much, Brian. I appreciate it. Thanks for the opportunity.
No problem. Now, when you come back on Blitz, we're going to have some of the highlights from their first game against Riverside Military, also some softball highlights, and don't forget the Blitz Player of the Week coming up next.